Namaskar. Tejashri, please go ahead.
Namaskar. Yeah, chapter 10 and 11. Chapter 10 is short one, just 3 pages, and it says life is a choice. And yeah, if we life is a choice because if we know language of the book is 5 languages of love, if maybe not everybody know actually. I don't know if Didia Chira knows that we're talking about the book, but she's done. Yeah, and if we make a right decision, it's if we know our person what we deal with, what we're talking with, if we know his or her language, and we can make a decision to choose to talk on his or her language, and it actually it's build a relationship, and the author give an example in his book. He's a doctor, and they what is his Gary Chapman, and he said one day couple came to him. His name is Josh, and her name is Susan, and they had problem with they were married for 30 years, and when they came, she said that she feels like very empty in relationship, and she feels like she doesn't feel anything. She doesn't feel love or any attention, and when he asked his her spouse what's going on, he said, "I don't know what she wants, because I do everything what I can. When I come from work, I come a little bit earlier than she to prepare a dinner. I make food, and we sit together, we eat. Then I wash dishes. Then I watch." That's what she said. He like he does his thing and she does her thing, and they don't get any time together. And on weekend he does all chore on outside because she has allergy for pollen, and that's how he realized that his love language is action of service. Yes, and when he asked her what she wants, for how she wants to feel love, she said, "I just want attention. I don't want anything what he does. I want just to sit with her and talk each other, like feel each other." And that's how he realized that she has language of love, quality time. Yeah. And so they discovered, both of them, that they talking on different languages, because his love language was what I said. It was acts of service, and so he showed his best for her. So he did, after they eat, he washed dishes, he cleaned the house, and he does everything. But she did not realize like he loves her, because she wanted something different. She wants just quality time, to just sitting with her and talk, and she doesn't need anything of that. And the doctor, Dr. Chapman, he asked, what would be your best wife? How you could describe your best wife? What do you want? And he said, I want her to come and prepare food, and to fix my clothes if it's needed, and to do something. So, but she said, you never told me that, and I did not know that when you cook food, you said you don't mind. And he said, yes, I don't mind, but in the best, uh, like my vision, I would love my wife do it. And she said, I did not know. And so they like recognized it actually. And when she said, when doctor asked her what you want, she said, I just want him to sit with me and talk with me, and like feel me and ask me how I'm doing, what is my day, and where am I at all. So, and he said, I did not know that you need it at all. So when they realized that they just were talking in different language, so he showed his best on his language, that what is love for him. And she was so frustrated, because she did not feel love. This is not, she did not recognize it like love. She just wanted something different. Yeah, and they after the session with the Dr. Chapman, they decided to make it different. And he said, I promise, after you come from work, we every day we're gonna sit and take time and talk and do nothing, just talk and like feel each other. And she said that I'm gonna prepare dinner, and I'm gonna do home chores and everything. And after that, a little bit later, their relationship like was reborn, and they were so thankful, happy with each other, and they even go to vacation together somewhere. So this is an example how we can talk on different languages, and show like to not to in my person experience, my husband recognized my language of love. I did not know that. When I wrote this book first time, I did not even understand what languages, what does it mean, you know. And my husband said, you know, your language of love is helping. So act of services, and I was realize really, and if I like see back my how I feel like when somebody helping or doing something for me, and how I act when I want to respect, I always trying to help. So I like, wow, you're right, you know. And this is an example like what is. And the second chapter is really love makes different, makes. And even, you know, I want to read you one sentence I like. I don't see well. No, it's not. I don't see well. Okay. It says that love is it doesn't change the past, but it build the future. Yeah, and we when we like make a right choice, like right decision, like these people, as example, as I told you, like Susan and her husband, this is like really can change in a good way our future relationship, our how we see each other. I mean, like it can this is a choice for us to make good future relationship. Yeah, that's it.
Very
Thank
good.
you.
Do you have any questions for Tejashri? Any comments? Maybe you want to share your personal reflection, personal stories. And I will also invite you guys, for those, please keep your videos on. It keeps the, those of you who cannot share it, who are busy doing something, it's okay. But if you can, please turn it on so it feels like a conversation, like we're present to each other, and it's a quality learning, okay? So the quote you shared first, Tejashri, is very powerful. Love is a choice. Very good. So it means like it's effortful, not only emotional.
I have a question. Really. What if you don't know how to express the others? So other person have different type of love that you do, and you don't know how to express it because you don't know what is that. How do you learn that, or you keep asking questions, or?
Yeah, it's really you can know that, like, just you need to first the Elena last time said it was from the book How to Recognize Your Partner Language. First, you can take a look what he act like. If you want to respect somebody, what does he do? So like this guy in the book, I said he did. His wife said, "I don't feel love," so he started to act what he does, what his language. He started to do action, to do service for her, to do outdoor work, to do things. So that's how the author recognizes his language. So you can like pay attention and see how your partner act, what he does. Or for example, maybe if he or she loves presents. You know, I have a friend, she loves gifts. So when I bring, so she always comes and bring me something. But this is not my language of love. So, but I understand that this is her language. That's how that's why she does it for me. Maybe it's not mine, but this is her. So we always show it like not we don't think about it, but we always show it. So if you pay attention and see how he act, you will recognize, maybe not right away, but like how to say, ну, внимательный быть.
Attentive, receptive, attentive, careful.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, yes, if I recognize it, but it's not in my nature to express other person love signs. So for example, your friend, she always bringing you gifts, but because for you, it's not that important, it's not your love language. You maybe deep inside, you want to express the same way the love for her, but you keep forgetting, or it's not that important for you, or
Yeah, that's why
you
this
do-
love is a choice.
yes. So you need to go out of your comfort zone and trying to be more attentive to
Yeah,
that.
that's why. Yeah, that's why we think about others more than us. That's why we try to do consciousness to what's going on around us, and to recognize if I know her language or his, and I can make a choice. For example, my husband loves language of life is words of affirmation, and this is not my language at all, and I forgot it. But if I like kind of remember about it, and I make a choice, I try to, and I love him, I need to talk on his language, not on mine, because otherwise he will not feel love, you know. My language is, if it's different, you know, it's different than him, he doesn't recognize my love language like his love, you know. That's what this book is about. And yeah, that's why love is a choice. So I make a choice to talk on his love language.
May I also suggest something, Vidya Devi? You can even like, we say we should not treat like those five languages dogmatic. They can be more. We don't know. People are so different. So we can always ask, how do you feel?
Yeah, I mean, I know, it's always, theory, but it's so hard on practice. So I know the language, I understand that. Let's say my friend, she likes compliments. And I maybe even inside me, I do notice like, oh, her dress is very nice. But I never say it because it's not me. And I
Uh,
need to push
But
myself,
you,
but try to either to remember that, or to like 2 hours later I text her, oh, by the way, I really liked your dress. So because I don't remember that and I cannot say it in person, but it's coming after. So the question is, if it's not me, if
if
um
it's not natural.
yeah, so
Yeah.
how
If
do
it's not
I
natural,
remember to express that love? Because I I do want to say that, or express it, but I just don't remember it, or it's not in my nature to do that.
mhm.
you kind of said it on your own. Just get out of your comfort zone, and if you love somebody,
Make a note.
learn, learn. So it's
It's all about practice.
Yeah. So it will come, and if you have
it's right.
5 friends like that, and they have
And
all different
and
languages.
just kind of referring to what we're doing. We're doing Tantra yoga. So Ananda Marga is all about practice. So that's what we do. That's why mantra repetition, kirtan, all of those practices. If we do them like sincerely, regularly, then that's our effort to actually be more receptive, to be more open, to expand our, periphery of love. Sri Srinadamurti was once asked by his disciples, how do I know that I'm growing? He said, well, the periphery of your love, the circle, it will increase, it will expand. So the more people, animals, plants you will include in that circle, that means the more effective you are. So thank you for this discussion. It's great just to monitor. Again, Tejashri, thank you for leading this. Thank you for preparing. Great, very thorough, complete, and thank you for your feedback, questions, Vidya Devi. That was a great question. Japesh, please take your, how do you say, the mic is yours now.
All right, namaskar, everyone. I'll be presenting chapter 12, Loving the Unlovely. Very interesting chapter because it's not just about a relationship that has sort of grown distant and neutral. The concept or the idea of the chapter, is it possible to love someone you hate? So a relationship that has become so distant, with anger being suppressed, held inside for so long, could turn into the feeling of hate. So is it possible to fix a relationship where these feelings are the main feeling you have towards the other person? So this is where the story of Anne and Glenn come in. Their relationship became a story of complete pain and unhappiness. Anne wanted to fix the marriage by attending counseling, putting the effort to learn and grow, but Glenn did not. So imagine yourself in a situation where the relationship has fallen apart. You want to fix it, but your partner does not. And not only that, Glenn blamed Anne for the problems in relationship. So this is where the lesson of Luke from the Bible, he discusses Jesus's Sermon on the Mount. This is where this lesson comes in. I'll just read it. But to you who are listening, I say, love your enemies, do good to those who hate you, bless those who curse you, pray for those who mistreat you, do to others as you would have them do to you. If you love those who love you, what credit is that to you? Even sinners love those who love them. And reading that, I can't help but be reminded of even the Ananda Marga philosophy, the mantra, Bhavanam Kevalam, love is all there is. And, seeing that everywhere, you see it in others too. So by applying that, even in a relationship where you feel like you hate them, it is possible to bring out something, bring something loving back out in the other person. Because, initially in a relationship that did fall apart, they did fall in love in the first place, right? So, there is the potential for that connection. So Anne took the initial step of applying the teaching by learning Glenn's love language and doing all she could to give him love and fill up his love tank. This led to Glenn naturally reciprocating and wanting to give Anne love also. It was a 6-month process, but essentially the marriage was saved. The author does give steps at the end of the chapter. So essentially what Anne did was, the first thing, ask how you can be a better spouse, regardless of the other's attitude. Act on what she tells you. Continue to both seek more input and comply with those wishes with all your heart and will. And assure your spouse that your motives are pure. So when you do receive positive feedback, there's progress. Each month, make one non-threatening but specific request that is easy for your spouse. Make sure it relates to your primary love language, and it'll help replenish your empty tank. When your spouse responds and meets your need, you will be able to react with not only your will, but your emotions as well. Without overreacting, continue positive feedback and affirmation of your spouse at these times. And 4, as your marriage begins to truly heal and grow deeper, make sure you don't stop and forget your spouse's love language and daily needs. So essentially, it's almost like we need to always pay attention to see, how are we approaching the relationship? Are we being needy, always thinking about what's missing for us, or are we the ones sort of giving the love? It's almost like the spiritual practice where we're bringing light into that darkness. So that is sort of what Anne did, right? Glenn felt, well, with an empty love tank, like dark inside, right? But she emitted the love initially, and this was able to inspire that within him. And when a relationships, when both parties' love tanks are full, naturally, arguments will not occur. understanding and sort of productive conversations result. So we basically have to take the initial step, even when we feel the hate, feel the resentment, and but we have to make sure that we make the effort. So that is chapter 12. Chapter 13, final chapter, just sums up the teaching. He states that countless marriages have been saved by this method. It's proven from his direct experience. So it's not all theoretical, it's actually actual real life examples of marriages that have been saved by learning each other's love language. So like I said before, when the emotional need for love is met, it creates an atmosphere where all challenges can be overcome. With empty love tanks, couples will argue and withdraw. But when it's full, friendliness and understanding follows. The ability to love, especially when your spouse is not loving, may seem impossible, but this is where we draw upon our spiritual resources and we have to take the initial step. So in conclusion, let love emanate from within, and so it will from those around you. And yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Japesh. Any questions for Japesh? Anybody, please go ahead, or your feedback. It's an interesting quote by by Luke from the Christianity that you provided. It's very interesting. Basically,
Yeah, I mean,
go ahead.
oh no, sorry. I mean, I see this concept, this theme in all the well, I mean, depending how your perspective on the spiritual traditions, but those that actually require the practitioner to go within. It's almost like love, the emanation of love, regardless, seems to be a common theme. So we're not giving love only because we are expecting it back. It's like you are love, and you see love, and you are sort of trying to raise that within others, because it's almost like people who have sort of fallen into negativity. It's almost like it is possible for them to be saved and not blamed for their actions.
Have you ever heard about this? When you were talking about it, quoting, Christianity, that it's easy to love who loves you back, but it's difficult to love somebody who actually hates you, or unlikable creatures. In the indigenous culture of the Lakota First Nations, of the Lakota people, there is this term thunder being. Have you ever heard about it? So in the
No.
mythology, the thunder being is somebody who acts as a sacred clown in a way. So they're powerful like spirits or creatures, but basically they are not there to just give you love. They're also to challenge you. So their role culturally is like to remind about the dual experience of everything. So if we take it, I kind of like to take this usually in teaching, kind of, well, maybe parenting, teaching, and sometimes just to work. We experience those people, we meet those people who challenge us a lot, meaning they're not likable. Maybe there's some scars are not, how do you say? They don't. There are some scars do not match ours, and that's why we clash. There's this dynamic of clashing with somebody, but of course we know that consciousness is everything. So everything is an expression of one spirit, one consciousness. So we experience that we are being challenged by that personality. So I think that's an interesting way to think about it. Those people who we meet who actually call us to, you know, they test us in a way. Are we really strong in our spiritual practice? Are we really like practicing patience? Are we really embodying humility?
I agree with you completely. You know, somebody that sort of tests uh, our patience or challenges us. We really have to bring up those values in those moments. So yeah, I mean, I do see those moments as definitely purposeful as well, and necessary for our growth, our development.
And because we are going through the yoga teacher training right now, right, for the meditation steps instructors, and that I'm pretty sure for those of you who have children and who have students or who will or plan to have students and or children, the idea is that sometimes well, there will be a thunder being, somebody who will be challenging us, for example. And I think the teacher will have two choices before them. One will be to shun them, meaning to try to silence them, to exclude them, to kind of use your authority as a teacher, as a parent, to use this power to end dialogue. And the problem with this approach will be that, well, the feeling of irritation and anger will grow. The person will be even more challenging you, and you will experience a backlash, a conflict. Whereas another approach would be to acknowledge that person as challenging you, but at the same time treat them as a teacher who teaches you something. So kind of getting in the mind frame, what am I learning here? Kind of being a student yourself, not a teacher in the situation. Like, what am I learning from the situation? What is it? What is happening? So yeah, I think that's a very important insight. And collaborating, perhaps sometimes we have our own agenda, our own curriculum, our own thing that we want to teach, for example, certain asanas or certain text, but eventually it all comes down to relationship and community building. So perhaps, yeah, perhaps the person is taking us to an interesting direction, but sometimes maybe they just, maybe not. So we have to be very, open in each situation to see what's going on. But anyways, does anyone else have any feedback, any questions about anything? Because we've covered all chapters right now, so 5 languages of love. So what, has it been insightful? No?
No, it has sort of provided um steps you can take to try to salvage a relationship, or even bring back the love that was felt at the beginning stages. In a situation where you might feel lost or confused, you actually have steps you can take, strategies to follow that make it a lot more and organized way, so that it's not confusing, and you the yeah, there's a clear path and the potential to bring love back in a relationship. Yeah, I think it was a great read.
Thank you, thank you. Do you put, any of you can answer, do you put those any of those insights to life? Can you give an example how, on what insights are you using? How is it working? Actually, real life stories. I think in this time, quality time reminds me to be more present and kind of not get distracted by the phone. I have this habit of always like thinking about what will happen next, so it's important when you talk, you are there.
I have a semi-recent example with my mom. She got upset with me and didn't talk for a couple weeks. And I couldn't understand. I didn't do anything wrong or why. So I just called her and said, "Do you want to go to the cafeteria with me?" She agreed, and all what she was upset about is that I don't have time for her quality time. And I thought, I do everything. She asked me, I do that. So my language is just to do things for people. And
Acts
I
of
couldn't,
service.
yes, why she's so upset. And she was just didn't get enough time from me, just one-on-one, I guess.
Awesome. Awesome.
It's still not easy to find time for mom, but and even I know that she needs it. That's what I'm struggling. That I know that, but that you know that busy life not letting you to give it as much as other person needs it, or maybe that's my choice, but I have to be more um, mindful about that, I guess.
Beautiful. Great observation. We're turning into a mindfulness club. That's good. It's important.
Yeah.
Essential to what we do. Tejashri, you have your mic on.
Yeah, it's remind me that my daughter, she's also has her language of love is quality time. And when she comes, she always tell me, "I'm coming. Let's get together. Special day, special time." She's coming to my place, and if I do something else, for example, she's sitting and I am cooking or do something, I'm busy, and I see she's like kind of frustrated, and she feels like it's like painful for her, and I realized that her love language is quality time, so I just left everything and sit by her, look at her eyes, and listen, and don't do nothing. And so she's getting better, and so I need to remember it. Yeah, that's what you said, and get out of my comfort zone. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. Well, when you do this effort to overcome this staticity or this, how do you say, you go step out from your comfort zone. This is a tantric effort. That's good. Well, maybe India, Alana, Padma, you guys are quite quiet today. No pressure if you don't want to.
Well, I'm just enjoying listening to everybody. I think we're all in. I mean, all of us have experienced something or the other at some point. I wanted to kind of like comment on that situation that our friend shared about her mom. I think sometimes with mothers, I think there are two situations. Like, one is, I think maybe she just wants you to hear her everyday stories, like what happens with her neighbors or her maids or her dogs, or maybe she just wants you to hear and say, "Hey, yeah, I get it. Oh, that's nice," maybe something like that. Or sometimes, as not particularly her, or just generally people in our lives, it can be a friend or a neighbor or whoever, a partner, child, anybody. Sometimes um, uh, they're at a different level, I think, emotionally or spiritually or any other way, intellectually. They're takers, not givers. So sometimes, no matter how much we do, they don't understand. So there are times when that we just have to step back and say, okay, I have done enough and I'm doing my best, and I'm trying to understand and give what they need, want. But because there is a point where it becomes draining, so you do have to take care of yourself also. We all have to take care of ourselves, self-care. I have to do that at some point in all my relationships and my work. So there's that too. I mean, there's the giving, and then you have to know that barrier where you have to step back. So I
Thank you.
just wanted.
Padma, thank you for reminding us, because we are doing this journal, or we are supposed to do this journal. Let's brainstorm, everybody. Let's share how are we taking care of ourselves. Let's do it.
Yeah, like today, for example, actually, like there is this family who always asks me for rides, and I travel like an hour additional to help them, and like pretty often. And then it started to become to a point where it was I could see a pattern of taking advantage of the situation by them. So like just today, as of today, I told them I just cannot come at that time that you want, because I have a class and I have to go to this class. And if you want me to come somewhere at 7:30, I just cannot come. And it was hard for me to do that, but then I felt like that is self-care. I want to be in this class. So sometimes we just have to do that and be okay with that, feel comfortable, not guilty, because for 30 seconds I felt guilty saying no to them. But after 30 seconds, I felt, no, that was the right thing to do. This is not a medical emergency, or this is not anything. This is just them wanting some entertainment. So I have to say no, because what I need to do is important, and I have to go because this is my self-care. So yeah, that's self-care.
Very good. Great.
Yeah.
Great. Well, attending this class, attending in the Karma Chakra as well, doing your own personal practice, asanas, food, water drinking, yes, sleeping. Which reminds me, we have 9 more minutes. So any final comments, any final, especially who has not had a chance to yet to express themselves?
Namaskar. Hi, I'm India. So I just had a question that kind of plays off what Padma was just talking about. So, like as spiritual practitioners, we want to be loving, we want to be giving, we want to be patient and forgiving, and like all these things, and we want to put the other person first. But like, what advice do you have if you're in a relationship with a person and it's not just like distant or lack of love, but there's what you believe is, significant problems, like significant disrespect, and you feel like the appropriate action is actually firmness, actually putting up some boundaries. Because I struggle with this. I struggle with like the guilt that I'm supposed to be a spiritual person. I'm supposed to keep giving. But how do you reconcile that when you do need to put yourself first and you do need to be firm, not like aggressive or harming, but firm? What advice do you have for that? Thank you, Namaskar.
I was just asking the community, India, who are you specifically want to answer? There are 9 to be
Well,
teachers.
anyone that has ideas, anyone, especially if you've experienced that in your life, I'd love to hear.
Well, I can start. I think that so it's a balance, but I think what you said got me curious. Why do we want to, even while we are spiritual human beings, but actually everybody is a spiritual human being, but say, okay, we are consciously trying to do something, we are practicing consciously. But the thing is, we have to be rational, and there's this expression in Ananda Marga which is very important. It's called subjective approach through objective adjustment, meaning the most important goal in our life is spiritual, and throughout the day we try to attain that spiritual goal, the supreme consciousness, and to be always in touch with him, with consciousness, even while dealing with individuals. But at the same time we have to adjust, and that's easier said than done, of course. So it's a one-to-one basis, I think. It depends on where you are at. Japesh mentioned about the emotional bank concept, for example, and we have to replenish it, because usually throughout the day, especially by the end, we run out of it. So especially if we have tense relationship with somebody, we lose patience, we lose, how do you say, we cannot embody all of the values of a spiritual practitioner. And I think we have to be how do you say, humble enough to acknowledge that. And maybe I think just say it, you know what, I think honesty always helps, and it's a part of nonviolent communication, of actually sharing your observations, saying and communicating your feeling. This is something that we will be studying in the later module on nonviolent communication. But I would say, just giving information to another person, you know what, I'm feeling stressed, I'm feeling tired, I feel it's not working. No, that's how I feel, because it's connected to my desire to be heard. I know that you don't have to give me that if you can't, but that I'm just expressing. So it's not a matter of demand, it's not a matter of, how to say, manipulating. Rather, it's a method of just communicating what's happening with you, like emotionally. Because I hope that if anything, like talking about this book, Five Languages of Love, everybody has their own body language, not body language, love language, or a mixture of them, and we just kind of, lose. We like often we just don't know. We don't have our third eye open all the time. So we have to communicate sincerely and genuinely. And I think I like how Dada Sadananda, at least on the Russian channel, says that don't try to be holy before your time. Because kind of we're just human beings. We're just human beings on the spiritual path. Like, we just have to be, I guess, simple and sincere. That's what my Acharya always tells me. Simple, sincere, do your best, and that's it. But anyways, what else? What do you guys think? Please go ahead. What are your thoughts?
I'm too talkative today. With my kids, I saw two small kids, and at the end of the day, I lose my temper. And so what helps me or them, I guess, uh, to say what I feel. So my daughter sometimes she said, "Oh, you look angry, or you yelling too much," and I say, "Yeah, I had very long day. I had a little stress at work, and then this fell off, and I had to clean, and then the dog ran out, and all that stuff had built up, and now I'm a little overwhelmed." And what I understood, it's easier for them to, I don't know how to say, eat up my stress they shouldn't, but they understand that I'm not yelling at them. I'm just frustrated at this moment and I cannot hold it because I'm a human too. So that kind of stuff. And what I like about my son, he's 4 years old and he already tells how he feels. So he always say about his emotions. He says, I'm very sad because of you. You did this, or I'm angry because of you. Not me particularly, but he tells that to sister, to grandma, to anyone, but he knows how he feels at this particular moment and why. So that's how you have to say, like Nirmal said, we don't have third eye, so, or we do, but it's closed. So it's easier to other person to understand what's going on with you if you say how you feel. And I was saying about negative, I think about positive you need to say as well. If you're happy, why not?
Very good. Thank you so much for sharing. India, did we manage to somehow, what are your thoughts? Somewhat found your...
Yeah, thank you for the responses. Um, like I did like what you said, Normal, like you know, we're spiritual practitioners first, and you know, just trying to approach things with, you know, honest conversation and you know, saying how you feel, but not in an aggressive way. And you know, I think there's sometimes where we just have to let certain relationships go, even if it's hard. Um, yeah, so I'm just rambling a little bit here, but I do appreciate the responses. Thank you.
I think in...
Yeah, I say something about India. Um, uh, I think being spiritual practitioners or having spiritual inclination, I think we have this habit of looking inwards a lot and thinking that, what did I do wrong, or how am I at fault? Look, what can I do to make things better? We're constantly questioning ourselves to be better, and that's part of our journey, to be better human beings. That, I think in this journey, sometimes I think we're seeing what the other people are doing, like they're taking advantage of us, or they're not being nice to us, or they're unnecessarily disrespectful to us. We can see at some level, but again, this inner journey makes us say, oh, okay, we gotta forgive them. Oh, okay, we gotta let go. So this continuous like battle, I think, of some sort going on within us, and the other people continue to be who they are, because for them, they're not worried about changing. They're just, whatever they can take, they take. And so I think when I think we start realizing that this is really out of control and this is not normal. I mean, there are some things, some personalities that are normal, and everybody's not same. So that's okay, normal personality within normal limits. But when there is something, a problem, we see that there's a problem. I think we have to start letting that go, whether it's a friend or a neighbor or a parent or a child or a partner, whoever they may be. I think those steps have to be in place. It's good for them too, it's good for us too, because maybe we are not the kind of people they need, and they're not the people that we need. So sometimes at some point, yeah, tough love. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know.
Very
Thank
deep
you.
conversation. Thank you, Padma. Very good. Yeah, the most essential not conversation, relationship of any person is with Baba, with Parama Purusha, with Shiva in their heart, you know. So he knows best which relationships should continue for us, which relationship should not continue. It's hard, it's painful, but with Baba, not so much, or at least less so. So thank you so much. It's been a great learning curve. Let's close. Next week we're starting with the next book. It's called Love and Compassion by Dr. Miller. So I just want to. We have 9 chapters. So I just want to ask each person to take. How many of us? To take one. Oh, actually, it's appropriate. So I will do the introduction. I volunteer to do introduction. So the first one is on self-love. So please volunteer to take each chapter, and we'll do the same. We'll do it in the same manner. The book is called Love and Compassion by Jack Miller. Okay, so let's go. Let's not waste our time. We are how to say, a little bit. How to say? Late. So self-love. Who wants to take this chapter? Okay, Alana. Very good. Second one is personal love. They're all good, guys. It's a great learning opportunity. Becoming an expert. Okay, so personal love. Or
I'll take
aka romantic love. Japesh, good. Very good. 3 is impartial love, compassion and loving kindness. It's more spiritual. I'm being subjective here, but okay. Impartial love. Okay. Nobody? Then I'll volunteer someone. Okay, Padma. Good. Okay, good. Okay, 4, love of learning and importance of curiosity. Okay, anyone? Maybe okay, Aditya, can you take it?
Love of learning.
Yeah, yeah.
I was thinking about the other one, but I can.
Okay, which one
Uh,
do you want?
I was looking at love as non-violence.
Okay, good. Good. You can take that.
Okay.
And number 4, love of learning. India, do you want to take this one? Who feels more naturally attracted to this one?
Sure, I can do love of learning, but I was also looking at love of beauty.
Okay, do love
So,
of beauty.
okay, thank you. Love of beauty.
Okay, that's a good one. Jack Miller really likes this one in particular. So 4, love of learning. Okay, why not Marina? Is that okay?
Can I take the gift of presence?
Okay, very good. Okay, the gift of presence, fine. You got. So Marina will take this. Okay, now Eros. It's not what you think it is. It's more broad. He thinks that Eros is more like a general kind of love, more of like in a cosmic or spiritual way. Believe it or not. Vidyadevi, do you mind? Hello?
I can try, but I cannot promise. So when it needs to be?
In a few weeks, not right now. I think we'll be doing 2 at a time. So 3 weeks, even 4 in a month. Okay, but who will take love of learning? Who's left? Tejashri or Kamati?
Oh, I can take this one.
Ekamati 4? Good. And Tejashri, can you take love and education, the last one?
Isn't it the same love of learning and love of education?
No. No.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, good. So we are good. So in next week we will have three. I'll do introduction, then Alana, self-love, personal love, Japesh. Very good. So I will share it on our chat and I'll stop recording. Again, thank you so much. It was a great, how do you say, unit. So yeah, perfect. So have a good night. Let me do some kirtan and then we'll conclude, okay?
Nirmal, where I can find this book?
I will share the
Link, is it online to read?
it's
Or
it's you can get I got it on Amazon on Kindle, but I also could find it in one library. If you have access to library, you can do it. If you're in a difficult situation, I can send you the electronic version of the book. So let me know if you need it. Otherwise, I'll share the Amazon link. Okay?
I found this book on the Google Books. I posted the link.
Okay, perfect. I'll share all of these to the chat on Telegram. Okay, thank you so much. Baba Namo Kevalam. Baba Namo Kevalam. Baba Nam 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 Kevalam. Baba Namo Kevalam. Baba Nam Kevalam. Baba Namo Kevalam. Namaskar.